go to settings and make sure under decoder that you have the use hardware decoder checked. So I'll go back and play the same video again. And it plays it fine, and you can skip around. So it skips around fine. But once you have the hardware enabled, they have a hardware icon. Just click on that, and you can select it from hardware to hardware plus. And with some of the videos I tried playing, I couldn't get audio until I had this hardware plus decoder setting checked. And these are benchmark settings. The last time I kind of did a review on one of these similar types of devices, they requested that I provide benchmarks, and under the device settings here, and this is the 3D Mark demo for the Ice Storm demo, which plays a demo in 720. It averages around 15 to 17 frames per second. And for the Ice Storm Extreme, which does it at a full 1080 resolution, it slows it down to somewhere between about 5 to 8 frames per second for that one. Also, I was able to play NES game, and it played fine with normal frame rates. I played Street Fighter. I can't show it on YouTube for obvious reasons. Well, I could try to show it, but I don't want to chance it. But it plays fine. I tried plugging in an Xbox 360 controller in it and tried playing it as well, but that didn't really seem to work. I also tried playing a Quake. It's like an open source Quake 3 arena demo, and that just the frame rates on that are low, and I would say it's unplayable because I'm used to full 30 to 60 frames per second for games. Available on their Getting Started guide is a Geeks box image, which is a variant of Xbox Media Center. And I found that I couldn't get my wireless internet connection working with it, and also on certain videos, and this is not a major problem, down at the very bottom of the screen there's kind of a little bit of distortion on a few of the videos I played, which led me to, they have a whole list of images that you can try out, which led me to this one called OpenELEC or OpenELEC, and it's a very minimal version of Xbox Media Center, and this thing plays videos flawlessly. There's only two things I could really find wrong with it, and moving the mouse is slower than I would like compared to the Geeks box image. Another thing is if I wanted to sign into YouTube using the YouTube add-ons, it doesn't really work. Things you need to be aware of: to change your network settings, you'll need to go into Programs, and the network configuration is available through the OpenELEC configuration menu, and you can set up your wireless network that way. Another important thing for audio to work through HDMI, by default, these Xbox Media Center images are configured to output sound through SDPIF, or however you pronounce it. To switch it to use HDMI, you'll need to go to the System menu and go to the Settings. In here, go to where it says System, go to Audio Output, and switch the audio output device from SPDIF to HDMI, and sound will work. And video is playback fun. Let me turn down the sound. Let me try to turn down the sound. No, that's turning up the sound. That's turning down the sound. So the video is playback fine. You see some kind of distortion when the menu overlays. That really isn't a big issue for me, and you can skip around in the video fine. And also, you can go to YouTube. Through their add-ons. And I'll go to my channel. And I can stream that same video. And the nice thing about streaming it through Xbox Media Center is that if your internet connection is kind of dragging, it will compensate for the lack of bandwidth. Okay, now I can play this one. I couldn't play the other video. So there it is. It's playing back the video. It complains that it can't find the video URL, but it plays it. It plays it okay. It plays it fine. You just can't watch a video and then switch to YouTube videos. You apparently have to reboot it. Another thing worth mentioning is that the Xbox Media Center, even though you tell it to turn off, the CuBox doesn't turn off. And there's also not a power button on it either. So if I wanted to, say, try out a Linux image that's on this SD card, what I would have to do, since there isn't a power button, is I would have to go and unplug it so I can turn it off. And then I could use my fingernail or thumbnail to get the image out. It would be nice if it had like some sort of on-off button on here, so I'm not having to constantly plug and unplug the power cable into the CuBox. But let's take a look at a Linux image, and I'll switch the keyboard from the wireless keyboard to a wired keyboard, because I wouldn't be using a wireless keyboard in a desktop setting. Now, when I tried Linux images, the first one I went for was Ubuntu, that's the popular one. But apparently, that is the current build for Ubuntu for the CuBox is an older build, and everything works. The internet connection works, the web browser works, but if you try to go out anywhere and that particular website uses HTTPS, the root certificates on that particular image have already expired, because they expired back in 2012, and there's really no way you can go and update them. And if you try to update the system, which it warns you about, trying to update it in the wiki, it really doesn't work. You can get it working reading some forum post, but it's not easy to do. Which led me to my next choice, which was Debian. And they have a testing version of it out there called Debian Jesse. But when I tried to get that working, networking wasn't set up. Wired networking wasn't set up, so I ended up going with ArchLinux. But in the end, with Debian, I could get wired networking up. If you try to launch a web browser, it would say there's no web browser installed, so you have to go install Iceweasel. So this is ArchLinux. To actually get the image up and running, there's quite a bit of command line commands to type in from a Linux virtual machine if you're a Windows user. But this is the LXDE desktop, which is a lightweight desktop, and I've installed Chrome. And you can go out and surf the internet. For example, if I wanted to go to my YouTube page, it's there, and I could go to the videos. It seems like 2D acceleration isn't enabled, even though it scrolls okay if I open up a terminal window. And if I try to like drag it around, it's kind of slow. So there's something weird going on there. It works, but it needs some improvement. Overall, I'm impressed with the Android capabilities, being able to go out and watch YouTube videos and stream movies. With other mini PC systems I've tried, it's difficult just to get that working. And also Xbox Media Center is impressive with the OpenELEC build, minus the whole kind of glitch with trying to watch YouTube videos initially. Those are good. Just the weak point at this point is just these Linux distributions for the CuBox. But I'm sure over time, I know that there's currently a discussion in their forums where they're trying to get a stable version of Debian up and running, and also they have like these installer images that I have not tried yet. But that's it for this video, and of course, thanks for watching.